Cricket et al. It's a website. It's a podcast.
Pete, it's a way of life. It's Gideon Haig over here.
And it's Peter Lawler over here, live and exclusive and direct from the second day at the Galle International Cricket Stadium.
And welcome to Cricket et al., your independent cricket podcast. Pete, you haven't got a microphone. Where's your microphone?
Oh, yeah. It's another one of those stories. You know how I lost my job? You know how last week I lost my job?
Yeah.
At SEN?
Yeah.
Well, last night
Did someone complain about your microphone?
My microphone got cancelled. Yeah. Well, it wasn't looking that good because I dropped it on the ground anyway and broke some buttons off it after last night's pod. But then I was getting out of an auto rickshaw late and I had a few bags and I left one of them in the auto rickshaw. And in it was my microphone, my swimming shorts, my sunscreen, my noise-cancelling headphones, and the plot. I think yeah.
So somewhere out there, an auto rickshaw driver is starting a podcast.
Well, I stand by. He might tune in to Cricket et al. We might have three people on tonight. He could be coming live and direct from an auto rickshaw. Yeah. Anyway, I was out with a few Cricket et al. Fans before that.
Oh, very good, very good, very good.
And it was in a tidy state. I want to say.
You were out with Thomas Miles, weren't you?
Yeah, I was, and a few others.
You were out with our celebrity scorer.
Yes, who's come through for us again. I've just put his score sheets into this piece. I filed to the paper, and they are a thing of beauty, as was the cricket today, Gideon.
Okay, beautiful segue, Pete. Tell us about the cricket that you've just been watching and I've just been watching on my couch.
Well, the close of play, Gideon, Australia are 3 for 330. That's a lead of 73 runs over Sri Lanka. Stephen Smith is 120 from 239 deliveries, 9 fours, 2 sixes, and 299 minutes at the crease. Alex Carey, 139 not out, 156 deliveries, 13 fours, 2 sixes, and 236 minutes at the crease. That is, Gideon Haig, a partnership of 239 runs across 331 balls. And you can tell that it's 236 minutes because that's how long Alex Carey was at the crease. Having elevated from number 7 to number 6 last week because he bats the other way, he went up to number 5 today because Josh Inglis was penalised for being off the field for so long with back spasms. There's a bloody cricket match going on down there. Can you hear it?
I can hear it. Well, so, Pete, that was very impressive reading off your laptop. Let's hope you don't lose your laptop tonight. But you're right, it was a fantastic day.
Notebook, mate, notebook.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, don't lose that.
No.
It was a terrific day today. Australia proved their growing adaptability in Asian conditions. Steve Smith proved the ongoing resurgence of his genius. And he scored his 700 in Asia, overtaking Alan Border's previous mark of 6. And frankly, it never really looked in doubt today, did it? He had everything going on. And he's actually, as I think we remarked over summer, he's expanding his palette. And today it was expanded further by this compulsive, ingenious reverse sweeping, which I've never seen from him before. I've never really thought of the sweep as a natural shot for him, but he's mastered the reverse sweep now just to prove me doubly right.
Did you say I wondered if it was impulsive. I wondered what it was because he had just finished telling us a few days ago that he wears the baggy green to remind himself not to sweep. So then he tries a couple of sweeps. Then he reverse sweep. It was almost like everybody went, what the hell was that?
Yeah,
what did he just witness? What's he doing? And he got it very fine. There, of course, the boundary was unprotected there because the Sri Lankans didn't think he would do it. His innings was a thing of absolute beauty. I love watching we love watching cricket in these conditions, Gideon. I think Australia were, 3 for not much when he went in. I don't have that on my notes there. 3 for, you got it in front of you?
Well, they were 3 for 91 when Kawaja got out.
Yeah, that's right.
Carey came in,
And it was ragging. Labuschagne had been knocked over for 4, Kawaja was out for 36, Travis Head for 21, and you had that feeling that Australia could come up short in this innings because the wicket was deteriorating. We saw a ball from Matthew Kuhneman earlier in the morning turn so far it was taken by first slip without actually connecting with the edge of the bat. So that sort of gave you a hint of what the batters were facing out there.
There's a big LBW shout when Smith came in, wasn't there? And,
there was a big one.
And the Sri Lankans burned a review on it, and you could tell just how desperate they were to get rid of Smith. They knew how significant that wicket was. He not only swept, he used his feet beautifully today too. And he's playing that cover drive, that sort of low slung cover drive with the bottom hand.
Oh yes, that flicky, isn't it? Yeah.
So he just had it all going on today, and the Sri Lankans, I think. It reminded me a little of what Tim Payne said about Smith in 2019. How once he got to 20, you could tell that the opposition kind of just went, okay, Bohica, bend over, here it comes again. Just get ready, try and keep it tight, try and contain the damage.
It was a thing of beauty, and it's been coming, hasn't it? We go back. You've heard us say this before, but before the summer started, before the Border Gavaskar Trophy started, one of Smith's mates told me that in private circles he was saying, "I am back. I've got my hands back. I'm going to make a lot of runs this summer." His first 3 innings, he didn't. I think he made about a total of 19, and then he was away. He made that 100 in Brisbane, the 100 in Melbourne. He went to the BBL. He made 100. He made a 50. He's made that 100 in the first test here, and he's made another one. And you point out that he is now the highest or has the most centuries in Southeast Asia by an Australian. He also has the most away centuries too, and it's almost it's the second coming of Steve Smith, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's Steve Smith a la 4 or 5 years ago. And I mean, did anyone really think that this would happen? Did anyone really think that he could be as good as he was after a couple of where he battled and where the cricket was difficult? The cricket was difficult today, but he made it look easy. And
we felt that he was searching for motivation, didn't we? We did. We just had that. We had that feeling that that the decision to volunteer to open the batting was a man looking for a new challenge, and then he wasn't so keen on that new challenge. But maybe it was the 10,000 run mark that stimulated his creative juices over summer. Maybe it's the captaincy again, a glimpse of the captaincy, and he's built even further on that incredible record as captain. He now averages 70 as captain, and he averages 72 in the first innings of Test matches, and he's got a higher average in South Asia than Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli's average in 64 Test matches in South Asia is 52.62, and Smith's is now 53.59.
Now you say that the captaincy brings something to his game and motivates him. I also sense that conditions like this motivate him. Sure. We spoke to him by the pool up at the team hotel, which is a bit that way, mate. Bit out of town, and you could. He was really up for a ragging deck. I think he really wanted the challenge of batting in difficult conditions. And the difficulty was there too because they'd lost the toss. And when Sri Lanka added those very valuable extra runs and got to whatever their score was, he says, turning over the page, 257 this morning, he thought, gee, that could really hurt Australia. That was a nice little knock there. But if Australia are going to make a game of this, they are really going to have to work hard, and they're going to really have to work for a win. And I reckon that motivated him too. I think he likes it when it gets hard. In fact, I'm sure he does when it gets harder. I think he likes to prove himself in these types of conditions. Hey, and let's be frank. It's probably as hard as it is. It's probably not as hard as facing Boomer in Australia.
This is true.
Yeah.
The other thing today was that the ball did spin consistently, didn't it? It wasn't one of those decks where one spun and one went straight. So you actually could adjust for that, and that actually does give the batsman the opportunity to find gaps, to manoeuvre it around the field. And Smith is a fantastic player at closing the face here and opening the face there and finding untenanted areas of the field. So that actually, those conditions kind of license you to play in the way that he did today. And he had a fantastic partner, of course, didn't he? I mean, Alex Carey, that was a terrific innings today. Obviously, you know, Smith by the third session was beginning to flag, and Carey sort of took up the scoring slack. He scored 90 off 92 runs in the last session and going just beautifully. He's a very elegant player at his best, Carey. I think he's got the best looking cover drive probably in the Australian side. He's got the sweep and the reverse sweep working really well after, you know, misadventures with that in India in 2023. He's keeping really well, and I think when you're keeping well, you tend to bat well as well. You know, he feels really confident and compact in his glove work, and that means that the runs that he gets are a bonus, and it kind of frees you up.
You know, I was searching for similes and metaphors for this. Smith was John Lennon out there. Alex Carey was McCartney, and I really think that those two complemented each other. Mm-hmm. I think that they created something of beauty. I think they were almost more than the sum of their parts. One wasn't towing the other constantly. No, just as we've spent the first part of this podcast marveling at the performance of Smith and how he made batting look simple, and he profited so well, Carey went better.
Yeah.
You know, Carey went faster. He got to his 100 quicker. I think he got to his 100 in 118 balls. It took Smith 191 balls. You know, Smith was batting in probably a bit more difficult period there when he came in at the top of the order. But this, I think, would probably be Carey's finest Test match innings.
Well, it's his highest. It's his highest.
It's not just the width of it. I think it's the quality of it, and I
think
it's
the opportunity, Pete. It's the opportunity to bat a bit higher because frequently his innings expires with the innings at the other end. Yeah,
well, we asked ourselves a question in the press box today, like, someone said, why doesn't he bat like this all the time? Well, hey, maybe he doesn't get to bat in conditions like this all the time, but he doesn't get to bat at number 5. He does get to bat higher in Sheffield Shield cricket, and he is another, like Smith, who has had a ripping summer. You know, he started that. He was the most informed batter in the Sheffield Shield, and I think he is that sort of batsman. He's probably the easiest on the eye. I mean, he is probably the most classic-looking batsman in the Australian lineup. There's, you know, they're a collection of odds and sods. He's the straight man. That's why I actually gave him the McCartney designation, because he's a super sweet guy. He's humble. He's kind. He bats in that old-fashioned manner. You mentioned those drives that he plays at home where he hits on top of the ball, you know, on that front foot. And I love watching him bat. And we were talking about it, so you just look up, and he's got a big score. And when we looked at the score, I went, God, he's 92. How did he get there? I mean, mid-conversation, as we were saying it, we went, geez, he's got on 92. And he progressed to 100 with 2 exquisite sweep shots.
Oh, weren't they beautiful? Yeah.
Dissected 2 fielders out there on the boundary. It was a magnificent innings. He's a great man, Alex Carey. I'm a really big fan of him as a bloke. And I'm a really big fan of him as a cricketer, because he's had a lot of pressure from Inglis. There's almost a sense in Australian cricket like people want to see Inglis. There's this this subgroup who think that Inglis is a better player than Carey, and Carey's just holding him out. But Carey continues to hold him out, and I reckon we will get to a situation where they will have to accept that they're going to play Inglis in a Matthew Wade role, because Carey cannot be displaced, just as Matthew Wade could, as Tim Payne was. It was, wasn't it? Was it Tim Payne keeping when Matthew Wade came in as a non-keeper? You know, that's extraordinary to hold your place, I think, in those circumstances. Now, the selectors might say we're wrong about that we were never considering replacing him with Inglis, but they did in white ball cricket, in both forms of white ball cricket.
Yes.
So, you know, he was closing in on Carey. Carey's just held his line. played his game and played it really bloody well. And so gets the opportunity at number 5, and wow, what a partnership! And this is going to be so valuable. This has given Australia the upper hand in this game, and will probably and if it plays out as it looks like it will play out, will go a long way to them winning this series.
Marnus, Pete. Marnus, what did you make of Marnus today?
I didn't give Marnus much thought, but I reckon there'll be a lot of concerns around Marnus and his place in the side. Now, you consider the talent that's around the Australian dressing room. In years past, I think batters have been able to hold their place even when they're fading, because and I probably have David Warner in mind when I say this, because there was no obvious person to inherit that role. But there are plenty of good players around this Australian side now. Remember that Sam Constas has to come back into this team. Cam Green has to come back into this team. Marnus Labuschagne is an endangered species.
Are any of them up to batting at number 3 though? It's hard to replace a number 3. It means a complete change to the rhythm of a team's middle order.
Steve Smith used to bat at 3 until Marnus came inside, and I just get that feeling he's in a good spot.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah.
Why not? It's a simple solution. Yeah.
You got 300s batting at number 3 in the 2015 Ashes. That is true.
I actually reckon he wasn't all that happy about going to 4.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think
I don't know. I don't know that for fact. I'd have to go back and check his notes.
Well, certainly when he was when he talked about not wanting to open anymore, he said that he felt that 4 was his best slot. But that's it all depends on what the team needs, Pete. That's the cliche they always come out with. And I guess if I actually thought that there was an argument for pushing Labuschagne up to open a couple of years ago, and for Smith to bat at 3.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that Marnus is an endangered species?
Look, I think he got off probably a bit lightly this summer because there's a general sort of acknowledgement that batting conditions in Australia are difficult. And when push came to shove in Melbourne, he probably played the 2 decisive innings. He was pretty crucial.
Good point.
Held Australia together in that second innings against Bumrah and really battled and came out the other side. I think the runs that he did make last summer were very, very valuable. And he sort of failed at moments where, well, like in Sydney, it didn't end up being all that important. But the trouble is that we're playing Test matches so infrequently. He now doesn't have an innings. Well, you have a second innings here potentially, but then, there's an awful lot of cricket to be played and an awful lot of cricket cogitating to be done before the World Test Championship final. So things could change a lot in the interim.
Well, this is the 7th Test match in the last few months. They deserve a little bit of a break. Come on. Oh, dear.
I booked my tickets. I booked my tickets, by the way, Pete, for London. Yeah, so looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, I've asked Sue to get onto that today because I'm not allowed to book tickets. I always mess it up. As you know, I booked 2 return flights to Sri Lanka.
I'm ashamed to say I went into Flight Centre to get them to do it for me.
You did what?
I did. I went into Flight Centre because I always press the wrong button.
I pretended it was a mistake, but I booked 2 just in case I lost one. Which is on the card.
You'll leave it in a tuk-tuk.
I know I've got another flight here somewhere. Yeah. Robert Craddock used to carry 2 laptops. I remember when he had 2 laptops in case he lost one. Just quietly, I've got 2 laptops too, but it's not for that reason. Although, anything happening at home that I need to know about? I've had my head up the bum of cricket all day.
No, it's been good. It's been nice and quiet tonight. I had dinner with my daughter. We talked a lot about airlines. That was fun. Went through all the defunct African airlines again.
Oh, good. Are they still defunct?
They are defunct. There's something about defunct airlines. They're really actually quite fascinating. And that could I can easily fill a couple of hours talking about that with my daughter. She's great value.
She is a very good woman. We're both blessed with good offspring.
We are. I reckon that's probably about it, Pete.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting out of here if you don't mind. It's been a longish day.
I wouldn't mind going to bed. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
good
all
on
we've
you.
got time for on Cricket
Thank you for staying up so late, Gideon.
That's all right. No
I
problem at all.
appreciate that. Yeah.
If you're out there, if you're a tuk-tuk driver and you find an unexplained bag in your vehicle, can you leave something in the comments on YouTube and we'll get back to you.
Good on you.
That's all right. That's all we've got time for on Cricket at All. Great to have your company. Thank you very much. We look forward to you meeting up with you tomorrow night. But in the meantime, it's goodbye from me.
And it's good night from him without a microphone.